Sports Today family members, and today is a massive clash. Mumbai Indians taking on Royal Challengers Bangalore at the Wankhede Stadium. It is the clash if you have to look at it at the bottom of the table, but today the team that wins will really boost their chances and they will have some confidence heading into the latter stages of the IPL. Mumbai Indians started their mission resurgence with a win over the Delhi Capitals, but they face RCB, a team in the last 5 games where Mumbai Indians have lost four of them. Mumbai Indians have won only one game in the last couple of years against RCB, and that's why this challenge is going to be a very tricky one. But before I get into the nitty gritties of the MI versus RCB encounter, yesterday in the GT versus RR match at the Savai Mansingh Stadium in Jaipur, you had contrasting emotions. One point you had Rajasthan Royals almost dominating the proceedings throughout the match. I mean, at 79 for 3 in 10.4, who would have thought that Gujarat Titans would have staged such an epic comeback? Gujarat Titans, thanks to partnerships between Vijay Shankar and Shubman Gill, and then with Mohammad Shahrukh Khan's blitz as well as Rahul Tewatia and Rashid Khan's exploits towards the end, got home with three on the final delivery with 3 wickets to spare. And because of this, Rajasthan Royals not only have they lost their first game in IPL 2024, now every team has managed to lose at least one game in IPL 2024. Such is the nature of the competition. You cannot go unbeaten. Rajasthan Royals had won 5 out of 5 games in 2015, but then unfortunately they couldn't match up to it 9 years later. And lot of questions around Sanju Samson's captaincy. I mean, if you have to look at where the match was lost, the inexperience factor plus some captaincy decisions really spoiled the mood for Rajasthan Royals. I mean, look at it. Why didn't Sanju Samson trust Trent Bolt in bowling the final overs? Why didn't he trust Keshav Maharaj in bowling the few middle overs that were there? Why did he give the final over to one of the death overs to Ravichandran Ashwin? Why did he give the 19th over to Kuldeep Sen? Sure, Kuldeep Sen in the past has had very mixed success. If you look at one of the games where he bowled the final over, it was against Lucknow Super Giants, if I'm not mistaken. There he managed to defend the total and win. But at this point, his 20 run over yesterday, when 35 were needed of 12, really spoiled the momentum for for Rajasthan Royals. And because of this, they needed 15 of the last over. Avesh Khan now for 2 consecutive games has not had a good run in the final overs. In the game against Royal Challengers Bangalore, he struggled. Here, he has struggled against the Gujarat Titans. Rashid Khan and Rahul Tewatia ensured that they could get in. But in the middle overs, sure, Ravichandran Ashwin has always relied on economy. And it is because of this, if other bowlers chipped in with wickets, his lack of ability to take wickets would be hidden. But yesterday it proved to be very costly. And because of that, Ashwin, did he have to bowl his entire quota of 4 overs? Why couldn't he have sacrificed 1 over and gotten in a Keshav Maharaj? Sanju Samson's captaincy left a lot to be desired, and in the post-match presentation, he really was emotional about. He said the toughest job is to analyze what went wrong after the loss. Now he said, I will be calm. I'm not in the mood to do it right now. I will be calm, and after that, maybe there'll be a response to it. He was really upset as to what had happened in the game between Gujarat Titans. So that is why Sanju Samson really, some captaincy decisions were very dodgy. On the other hand, Shubman Gill once again left it a bit too late. But Gujarat Titans, they have always made it a habit of taking the game deep and winning it. Just see how that happened in 2022. Just see how that happened in 2024, 2023. Every time Gujarat Titans have taken the game deep, they have the resources to ensure that they win. Rahul Tewatia is a finisher. Rashid Khan is a finisher par excellence in that sense. When Harsha Bogle asked the same question to Shubman Gill in the post-match presentation, he then said that, look, I think you have left the game a bit too late. You almost left it a bit too late. Shubman Gill said, when you are GT, don't think like that. GT always has the habit of taking the game a bit too late, and that is why they come up on the winning end most often. So That was a very, you may say, a mic drop moment for Shubman Gill that he had in the post-match presentation. But Shubman Gill, generally, if you look at it, he was in a quite a grumpy mood during the Rajasthan Royals encounter, because one of the wides, he had indulged in a long conversation with Vinod Seshan after the wide call was upheld. The ball seemed to be going underneath the bat, but it had crossed the tram line, and yet the wide was given. It was in the case of Sanju Samson. And because of this, Shuman Gill was really not happy. He was arguing with them. And because of that, maybe some fair play points might be docked in that sense. But overall, if you look at it in the scope of the India T20 World Cup, Shubman Gill had a very good run. Sanju Samson really had a very good run. And because of this, the conundrum, if you look at it, is there. It is going to be a really, really big situation developing between Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill for the opener slot. We had all debated yesterday whether it will be Shubman Gill or Yashasvi for the opening slot. Both are going to go for the T20 World Cup. There will be no surprises there at all. But who will play? Who is going to be your opener along with Rohit Sharma? On current form and on the recency bias, looking at the way how Indian selection works, it should be Shubman Gill. But will you afford to bench a Yashasvi Jaiswal? That is the big question here. Yashasvi Jaiswal is currently in the midst of a slump. How inopportune for him that he has to suffer the slump at this point in time. 5 matches, he's not set the stage on fire. So Yashasvi Jaiswal not in good form. But then, will you start him in the playing 11? I had stated yes, you will start with the Yashasvi because of the left-handed option. Sanju Samson, on the other hand, Sanju Samson, he has hit 350s in the 5 games. And this is very unlike Sanju of the previous years. He knows how his goal is, how his focus is. That is why he has made a big statement. On the other hand, he's looked far more assured in the keeping and the batting than Rishabh Pant has. The problem yesterday where we all had an issue was Jitesh versus Sanju versus Pant. Getting in a Rishabh Pant suddenly after 14 months with the backstory that he's had, it's quite possible. Jitesh was made the incumbent, but it is very important to note that the selection panel in India has always been very fickle. We all thought, consider different format, 2019. Ambati Raidu was a certain number 4. One bad series against Australia and he was shown the door. 1.5 years he was backed as the incumbent. Here we are backing Jitesh as the incumbent. But Jitesh has not given you confidence with the bat. Now he's the only guy who is batting in at number 6. But what will you do? Will you ignore a Sanju? Will you ignore a Rishabh Pant? That's the current situation that we have got. So Sanju and Rishabh are in the race slightly ahead, but you never know with the selection how it is going to be. So big questions raised on a lot of things. Shubman versus Yashasvi, who is ahead? Gill, if you look at it, Sanju versus Pant versus Jitesh, who is ahead in the race so far? The 2 names that I've mentioned at first, they seem to be ahead. We hope injustice is not done to Sanju Samson because this is the best start he's given. He's got 4 to 5 more games more until April 30th when the squad is announced by that time. So let's see how this shapes up. India, the squad selection will be on everybody's minds. Sanju Samson is really going to be looking at it with a keen eye along with Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Now when we have to look at Mumbai versus Royal Challengers Bangalore, it is an epic encounter because Mumbai Indians are on mission resurgence. We don't know how the crowd reception is going to be because in the game versus Delhi Capitals, 18,000 school children had come. Now, if the fans had wanted to boo Hardik Pandya, then it would have set a very wrong precedent for the children who were there. The children have done nothing wrong. Then why on earth would the fans would want to boo? That's why the fans really kept to themselves. But today there is nothing that's going to hold the fans back. RCB fans and MI fans, maybe they'll piggyback upon each other and turn on Hardik Pandya just to get the psychological advantage to RCB. Okay, I think there is a slight issue that has come up at our end, so apologies for that. So MI versus RCB, that is going to be a big problem. So let's see how that happens. Fan behavior will be very important. If you don't win, if either of the team doesn't win today, big jolt in their momentum for the playoffs. So that's the situation that we have got at this point. So apologies for the connection that fell just like that. So if you have to look at the world of other sports, India versus Australia, unfortunately, it's 3-0 down. But on Friday, when the fourth test match is there, India will be banking on their very good performance that they had in the third test. Defense was great, but in the last few moments, they slipped up. So Friday is the fourth test. When you look at the Badminton Asia Championships, Sindhu and Pranoy are the only individuals who have gone ahead. In the singles event, Lakshya Sen, Kidambi Shrikant, and Priyanshu Rajawat have all crashed out. So Sindhu and Pranoy, all eyes will be on them. And then when you look at the chess world in the candidates, yet again, round 6 has finished and we are now entering into the halfway point with round 7 today. Gukesh, Pragnananda, Vidit, all three of them in the open category have continued to show their brilliance. Gukesh drew with Nakamura, and that is why he is level on points at the top with Jan Nepomniachtchi, who drew with Fabiano Caruana. But on the other hand, Gukesh has shown that he is quite up there with the best in the business, and that is why he's with 4.5 points along with Jan Nepomniachtchi. But Pragnananda showed his brilliance by beating Nijat Abbasov and Vidit Gujarati. What a brilliant situation for him. He drew with Caruana but has now beaten Ali Reza Firozja. I mean, the opening blunders that Ali Reza Firozja made, it was very surprising indeed. And that's why in the world of chess, you've got our three Indian Open grandmasters putting on a great show. Heading into the seventh round, that is today, it is going to be very important for them to maintain the momentum because it's a very long tournament. Seventh round is the halfway stage, and then after that, the last round of the round robin begins. Second rest day, if I'm not mistaken, will happen after round 7. And then after that, you've got 2 more rest days before we head into the final stretch. So, excellent news from the world of chess. Pragnananda wins against Nijat Abbasov. Gukesh draws with Hikaru Nakamura, and Vidit Gujarati beats Ali Reza Firozja. It is a big thing, and it is surprising, very surprising to see Ali Reza Firozja struggle so much. Yes, he's not had that much interest in chess. He's now planning a career in fashion designing. But yes, it is going to be a big thing now for all of them to make a comeback. So I will take some comments at this point in time. Sports fan Sid, why do you think of GT top order batting? Do you expect them winning the way openers were going? Well, I certainly didn't expect them to win after they were 79 for 3 in the chase of 196 in 10.3 overs. I really didn't expect them to win. But then GT's lower middle order is their strength, and that's why they can afford to take it deep. You can have then exploits by Rahul Tewatia, and if you look at it, Rashid Khan. If it's in the range of 17 to 14 required rate towards the last 5 overs, they can win it. That is the strength of Gujarat Titans at this point. RR downfall, Sanket Mishra, RR downfall will start like 2023. One loss downfall started. We hope that is not the case, Sanket Mishra. We really hope not, because Rajasthan Royals really look good. Jude Jamon, they are humans, not robots. Win or lose happens. Of course, it is very difficult to win an IPL undefeated. It has never happened, and in the future also, it might not happen. JRK, I think Jaiswal is struggling because he had a long run in the Test series recently and is now trying to cope with pace nature of the white ball. Could be, but it's the most inopportune time to have a downward slide. KK, I said during batting first from 2013, not a single player who scored runs in T20 apart from Kohli. Why all the blame on Kohli, not on whole Indian team? Is VK is responsible for all losses T20? Again, KK, we are not just blaming VK. Let's be very clear about it. It is a collective failure. For 10 years with this core group, you have not won anything. And I have always stated that getting both Rohit and Virat back into the T20 I set up for the T20 World Cup is going 10 steps back. Because you look at the 2022 batting lineup, you look at the 2024 batting lineup. Barring a KL Rahul potentially, the rest of the batting looks the same. What has changed? All the talk about intent and change, it's just on paper, it is just on words. Implementation is not there at all. That is why it's a collective failure. And if you have to look at batting first, The numbers hide a lot of things in that sense. Look at 2014, look at 2016. At that time, there was no support for Virat Kohli. But look at 2021 and 2022. It's been a collective failure. And Virat, unfortunately, his strike rate issues have been magnified and amplified. We are not making those things up. It is a true story. Certain knocks that have hurt India, it all unfortunately piles on the agony. Chasing, I've again said it and I'll continue to say it, Virat Kohli has no problem. He's the GOAT when it comes to chasing. It is only during batting first that there are certain issues which crops up at that point. If you are going to bench sports, if you're going to bench youngsters like Yashasvi based on form, then why don't you bench all seniors like Virat, Rohit, Hardik, Jadeja? That's the paradox in India at this point. One of the reasons for yesterday's loss for Ara is that the spinners' economy was not as good as usual. Ashwin didn't bowl well yesterday, I guess. Yes, Ashwin had an off day. And so did UZ Chahal. But UZ Chahal at least got you a couple of wickets, including Gill. Excellent planning at this point in time from UZ Chahal. And that is why that's the problem. Sixer Simon Dool said that Kuldeep got boarding pass while Aksar, Jadeja and Chahal are compared to each other. In previous video, he also said Rahul is just near to pass. Let's see, it is hotting up at this point. But then the names that you mentioned, Jadeja, Kuldeep will be there. Will you need a backup spinner? Maybe. GT look more balanced when Wade opens and Sai at 3. KK, no, I think Wade is best suited at middle. You need Sai Sudarshan. That is the situation. Sports fan said, what's the reason of so many decisive games at candidates? I think sports fan, the major thing that I've observed this time is better preparation. The preparation that you're seeing from all of the players, it's ensuring that most of the games do not end up in a dull draw. The Indians in particular, the Indian contingent in particular, are very well prepared and are not feeling the psychological pressure. I mean, just look at Pragnananda. Pragnananda, the performances that he's putting in now is nothing new because he's undergone tremendous pressure in the World Cup. In the World Cup, he beat Caruana and Nakamura, but then it was not in classical, it was in rapid. So the pressures that they have undergone, all of the three Indian players, Gukesh only made it at the last moment. Vidit, yes, he did suffer some moments in the World Cup, but he won the Grand Swiss. And that is why the preparation that has gone through for each of them, that is the reason why there are so many decisive games, according to me. Now, it is 10 steps back. It's like we are playing Stone Age cricket in T20. Absolutely agreed. Syed Basel, Bolt has very bad economy in death check before, and also all of the Ashwin had Bolt 17, which had been successful. But then, yet again, it was a risk you are carrying, Syed. Ashwin 17th over, it was a risk. In the other games, it worked. In this game, it need not have worked because GT's batting is deep. That is the reason why. And that's why I think Samson Parag would have taken a chance on Rashid's last over. No, JRK. No, it wouldn't have happened. So, Srivatsa Vijayamaru, I have a problem with DK and RS back, not because of their capability, but they deviated from the process and suddenly brought them back. That's the thing. There was nothing called as a process. That's the thing, Srivatsa. So, that is the current situation. Citing India's ICC players to move past Rohit and VK is as stupid as saying leave Sachin out of 2011 World Cup. Did not win India the past 5 World Cups he played. VK and RS must be left because of transition. But you have to move past them. This core group has not won anything for 10 years. That's it. If this is the time now, even Sachin's 2011 World Cup, please let us understand it was desperate. It was desperation. But then Tendulkar's case was legitimate because he was still performing. That's the difference. He was performing still. That's why he could play until 2011. But then in the case of Rohit and Virat, you suddenly didn't play for 1.5 years and then you come back in January. It's going to be a big issue. Sanju has to play at 3 if he's going, if you want best from him. Syed, yes. He has to bat at 3. But then at number 6, yes, you can then fit in a Rinku, then have a Jadeja. But then you don't play a Shubman. You don't play a Yashasvi then. Rohit, Virat will open. Sanju at 3, Suryakumar at 4, Hardik at 5. Then you've got Rinku at 6, Jadeja at 7. That's the situation if Sanju plays at 3. But then no Shubman, no Yashasvi. Maybe that's the situation. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. MI versus RCB. That is the game today. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Rate. Tap that bell icon so when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye bye.